Hello, Mbadin Gambian Call. This is Paul coming up with another video of advice. I told you guys I will advise when it is necessary, I will criticize when it is necessary. So again, I'm going to elaborate more on the need to pay Gambians civil servant cash, so that way we can eliminate or cut down, not even eliminate 100%, because that you cannot eliminate corruption in any society, because some people are just demonic, So what I am suggesting again is, when I say okay, pay people bank deposit, electronic deposit, and stuff like that. That way, ghost workers. If you go to a bank, I'm not saying every government employee should be paid in one bank. That way it's going to invite corruption again, because those in the Gambia, you go to certain banks, they act like you are bothering them. Instead of servicing you right away, you end up waiting down there in a line for too long. So that breeds corruption. So any institution of banking that employee chooses, so the Gambia government should have a system whereby all banking system, the electronic payment can be done through any bank institution that is registered within the government in the Gambia. That's what I'm suggesting. Because when you go to the bank, before you withdraw your money, you gotta show an ID. So if somebody is in a payroll, they are not in this world, how are you going to show an ID to say that, oh, so and so is alive, so that they can be able to withdraw the money? So that way we'll be able to authenticate who is really alive. There's no ghost workers that have been paid, So that's why I'm suggesting that every government employee should be paid with cash. That way we can be serious about eliminating some of the corruption that are happening in our country. Some people are meant to be corrupt, which means they're going to go to hell. That's what it is, because when you let the demonic forces take over your soul, no matter what you do, your mind, all it is thinking about is how to corrupt the people, The reason why people challenge the government, people say corruption for the government, because you are representing the people. You say you are representing the people. If even you are working in the private sector, there's corruption because sub-owners inflate the prices of their product. That's another form of corruption. Individual people in the public sector in the private sector do also perform corruption, especially environmental corruption, where you know that, okay, if I buy this product, they give you a wrapped sheet of paper. You know that if you throw that outside, it's going to pollute the environment. The same things, house owners. When you are cooking, when people are cooking, don't throw stuff on the street. Don't go and throw your trash that you are cooking with in the street. If you cannot throw it inside your house, what makes you think that people will want to walk over it on the street? That is breeding mosquitoes. It is breeding a lot of flies. All those bring, diseases, a lot of diseases. So there's also environmental corruption that is going on. So people need to be serious about combating corruption in our society in the Gambia. For how too long? A lot of people say since independence, Gambia is a small country that we can develop easily. Since independence, the population of the Gambia is only around the greater Banjul area, Brikama, Serekunda, Banjul, around the Karton, and in all that area, starting from the Combos. Every street in the Gambia would have been paved. Not only paved, we should also have a means of trying to minimize the flow of dust within the area, because roads are not paved to the standard that is required, or even you pave the road, you should plant some trees or grasses around the facility that will hold the dust that is flying around. You know? So, Gambia, we need to be serious. This is why these people outside are not going to come and develop our country. Nobody is going to come and save us. They will give us money here and there. But it's up to us to be able to utilize that money to develop our country or to utilize our own resources. Look at Ethiopia. Ethiopia just built a dam. Look at the public funding of that dam. Almost the people in diaspora chipped in almost 60 to 80% of the funds to build a dam. Why? Because they trust the government system. If the Gambia government say, okay, the people outside, let's have funds that should be used to development of, let's say, road system in the Gambia. But would people do it? Because the confidence is not there whether that money is going to be given as only one person is going to embezzle it. You know? That's what I'm saying. Where's the airport tax? So please, I'm not accusing individual person who say, oh, the president is an individual person, but the people that are working with him is all of us to work together to combat corruption. You know? One person cannot combat it. A country is not run by one person, it's run by a whole bunch of people. You know, even the cleaner on the street that is employed by the government is part of the government running the mechanism of the government. So stay strong, man. Gambia, let's really combat corruption in that country, you know, and come up with better solutions to develop ourselves, you know, for the future of the kids that are coming up, so that the kids will not see the needs to leave that country and go to outside world where you have been looked upon as a second-class citizen. Even you are a citizen of that country, but still you are considered second-class citizen. You know, it is disrespectful. You know, why? Because Africans are looked upon down because people think that they come from poor places, which is a mentality. I would rather live in a poor place and be happy. But yet still, the resources that are coming for everybody is only certain individual people are taking it, you know. You know, you see people building mansions within 2 years when they are employed, you know. That's why a system should be put in place. When you come to work for the government, you need to declare your assets. That way people will know where you're coming up with the money to build a mansion. All right, thanks. Bye. Bye.